Or let's say you're rolling down the road, jamming to your Justin Bieber, sipping on some Starbucks coffee, and then boom, check engine light comes on. So you're going to want to head down to your local auto parts store and borrow their scanner for a couple of minutes, or have them come out and scan your vehicle and see what codes popped up in the system, and then you can move forward. Nope, not that one. Nope, guess again. You want to go there. So you want to grab their scanner here, you want to find your OBD port, plug that guy in, and run the codes. Well, we got 3 codes here. We got a P0353, which is an ignition coil, 353, 353. Now real quick, the difference here. Confirmed, pending, permanent. The pending code will be in the computer system, but it hasn't set the check engine light on yet. Confirmed code has set the check engine light, and a permanent code is usually an electrical code, and it's usually been going on for so long that the computer forgot about it and isn't checking it anymore because it set the code too many times. So now what do you do with a misfire code? Let me show you. First thing you want to do is open your hood up here, prop it up, and identify where your ignition coils are. In my case, they're exposed, and in your case, there may be a cover on top of the engine here. You want to remove that cover and get access to the ignition coils and the bolts that are holding them down. Alright, the next thing that you're going to want to do is number them from the front of the engine where the timing belt and the accessory drive belts are. Number them 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you'll want to unplug and remove the coil in question, which was the P0353, which is a number 3 coil. You'll want to remove this coil and inspect it, but it's probably bad. Just a quick side note, the P0353 code is specific to the electronics of the coil. A P0303 code is a misfire in cylinder number 3. But we're going to assume we have a 303 code, and we're going to attempt to diagnose that based off of that code. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and remove the number 3 cylinder coil. Inspect that, make sure that there's no oil down in there from the valve covers. Make sure that there's no blowouts on the side here from it sparking against the head. Make sure there's no physical cracks or anything wrong with the coil itself. And also while we're here, we're going to go ahead and pull the spark plug. As you can see, this spark plug has some miles on it. It isn't bad at all. The ceramic is very clean, there's no fouling, and there's no issues with the terminals on it. So we're going to go ahead and assume for the moment that that's good. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the diagnosis. Now to continue with the diagnosis part of this, we're going to remove 2 more coils and 2 more spark plugs for one reason, and I'll show you when we get there. So just pull 2 more coils off real quick. Okay, now with 2 more coils off, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a spark plug out of one of these 2 other holes, which also looks good. And we're going to put that into hole number 3, which is our known misfiring hole. We're going to put the spark plug back from number 3 into cylinder number 2. Now we're going to take coil number 2 and put it back on cylinder number 2. Okay, now what you want to do is take the coded coil number 3, put an X on it, and move its location also. We're going to put this one on cylinder number 1. And we're going to take the coil from cylinder number 1 and place that in position number 3. Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to clear the codes, and we're going to start it up and run it until the check engine light comes back on. That's important. You're going to have to get it to recode. And one of 3 things is going to recode. Either you're going to have a number 1 cylinder misfire, which is going to indicate that this coil is still bad, and since you've moved it, we can identify that it's the coil. You're going to have a number 2 misfire, which we've moved the spark plug, so that's going to indicate the spark plug is bad. or you're still going to have a number 3 misfire, which is going to indicate either you have a valve train issue or an injector issue, because that's something else that we haven't moved. Then you continue further down the diagnosis tree and start moving the injectors. These ones are hidden under the intake manifold. It's going to be a little bit harder to get to. On most vehicles, they're going to be out front, right where you can get to them. Now, this entire diagnosis procedure can be performed on a V8, a V6, or the 4-cylinder, provided that it has coil unplug ignition system. So let's go back inside. We're going to clear the codes and rescan it after we run it and see what comes up. Cleared the codes, I ran it for a little bit, and I got the check engine light to come back on. So we're going to rescan it and we're going to see what is going on. Okay, so we've rescanned it and now we have a P0351 code. That is cylinder 1 misfire. If this was your vehicle, you would probably see a P0301 misfire. That is the permanent code from before. Now, the computer is going to take a couple of drive cycles in order to remove permanent codes, so don't worry about permanent codes that don't have an active code following them. And that one's permanent now because it's an electrical issue. But we currently have a pending and confirmed code for 351, cylinder 1 misfire. That would indicate that it is in fact the coil, because that's the only thing that we moved to cylinder number 1. So, go back inside, buy a coil, replace that one, clear the codes again, and you'll be on your way. All right, boys and girls, hopefully you learned something. And if you have anything to add or you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be making some new videos a couple of new videos every week, as much as I can. Hope you enjoyed it, and leave me some comments, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. All right, have a good day.